You can support this show at patreon.com/ASAPodcasting.
My wife is a good woman.
Sure is. I'll vouch for that.
But every man needs a little man ass every now and then, right? You know? Please, let me be right. Just kidding.
Yeah, sure.
Who is rapping? Overkeen. Dragons? I'm not overkeen. I'll dice them like a knife, slicing right through an aubergine. My dragon shout flow is sweeter than a soda stream. You won't believe your eyes. I'm like an overload of dopamine. A broadsword in one
Welcome
hand
to
and a magic
the first episode of the second season of a Skyrim Addict podcast Roundtable.
Hey.
This is the skirmish for Solstheim. We are the show who compares and contrasts Skyrim experiences through a lively roundtable discussion by playing the same quests with characters who have been randomly assigned drastically different attributes. Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Oh, it's great. How have you guys been since the last show?
Yeah, just great.
Yeah,
Good.
No more difference. It was the same amount of time that a usual break is.
Yeah, we just did our normal 3-week break, so... Yeah, would have you preferred to give another couple weeks in there? I thought about giving us a more of a break, but...
No, I've been itching to get back into it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's been fun. I waited until this week to actually do anything, so I was playing with other characters and playing other games and stuff. So
What have you gotten into?
Oh, let's see. I played some Sniper Elite 3, which was a lot of fun.
What's that about? I've never played that. Is that a shooter, it sounds like?
Yeah, it's a stealth shooter. It's good. It's a good game. It's a series. The second one was really good. This one's not better at all. And then I've been playing The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, which just came out a couple days ago.
Ooh, sounds like a murder mystery or something.
It is kind of. It's a very sort of ethereal mystery, interactive adventure. No fighting or dying or anything like that. It's all about clues and solving puzzles and things.
Oh, nice. Did you ever play, what were they called, Myst and Rift back in the day?
Yeah, it's a little bit Myst-like in its sort of ethereal quality, but with modern graphics. It's really stunning. It's actually quite gorgeous. It's a beautiful.
And did you post that you had played some Destiny?
Yeah, I was playing Destiny.
Can you give us a little breakdown of how you're enjoying that?
It seems to have gotten a reputation of being somewhat controversial. I don't know. It's the best game that everybody loves to hate on. I don't really understand some of the criticism it gets. The story is slightly empty, but then it's an MMO, despite the fact that the publishers don't like it being called that. And frankly, most MMOs have empty stories, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. So the biggest criticism I guess I can give it is that the action is indeed a little repetitive. But I think it's a great start to what I think is going to be a long-term project for them. So we'll just wait and see what kind of stuff comes up. It's a lot of fun. I love FPS. I just love to shoot things and run around, so that's a lot of fun. It's a heck of a lot better or more fun to play than Elder Scrolls Online was.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah.
Yeah, you seem to not be too horribly impressed by the Elder Scrolls Online.
No, I wasn't at all.
So what were the major drawback differences between, say, Skyrim and ESO?
The other players.
Colin, you did this too. You can also
Colin, go ahead. You played it more than I did, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, with Skyrim, it's a lot more like Oblivion than it is Skyrim. The architecture, the game style, the way things work, magic. Well, not magic. They've changed it nearly completely in there. But I kind of enjoyed it. I haven't played in quite a while, but I still want to go back to it, but I'm just finding time to be able to tear away from Skyrim. Skyrim is better. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, it is. It's funny. What's amazing about Skyrim is that even just in the last 3 months or so, the modding community has exploded for some reason. I mean, it's just amazing. There's all kinds of amazing new mods. I mean, this is 3 years after the game was published, so it just keeps being fun to play because you can, with the mods anyway, you can just keep making it different and interesting and change. Just today, a new little mod came out, which is one of those little tiny things that you couldn't do before, and now it's great. It's very cool. It's amazing.
What was the new mod that popped out today?
Oh, I forget even what it's called. Simple Actions, I think is what it's called. And it just allows you to, if you want to go sleep on a park bench, you can just go sleep on a bench. You know,
That's cool.
You don't need any.
Does it give you the well-rested bonus and everything?
Yeah. The whole point was
awesome.
that, before with needs mods and things, you needed a bedroll or a tent and stuff like that, and you had to go through all kinds of rigmarole. With this, it comes as a spell. You just hit your action, spell key or whatever that is, the same key as for shouts, and it gives you a little quick menu, and you just select sit, sleep, or meditate, and you do one or the other. And if you sleep, it gives you the.
What does meditation do for you? Keep bring you peace?
Meditate will regenerate magicka faster. Sit will regenerate health faster, and then sleep, of course, you get the rested bonus and all that stuff. So it's
That's
just
really
a nifty
cool.
little
That
mod.
seems like a nice addition mod there.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And Colin, you did added the immersive creatures, I think it was, to your playthrough when you're doing Dead is Dead, and you said that spider popping out of egg sacs and all sorts of monsters that usually weren't there were just coming up out of nowhere.
Yeah, I posted on Ben's thing, where he's doing the Skyrim selfies. His one looks great because I had the Helgen Reborn dungeon in the background. I'm really looking forward to it because that looks huge.
It is.
So I've got that one, and I said I was going to post a start my new character on Monday. Well, I couldn't wait. I finished Soulstone this morning, and I was like, well, I might as well just start it, and I started it today. So I just finished up about 20 minutes ago. And
nice.
I ran across, when you run across the bridge from Whiterun, and you're underneath White River Run, where the bandits are, ran into a winged twilight attacking a Daedra worshipper summoner or something like that.
What was the first creature you mentioned there?
Winged twilight. I think they're in ESO, and it's basically like a flying creature. It's like a flying Dremora. And it has magic spells and stuff like it. Looks like a harpy, but no feathers and. I got a Daedra heart out of it, so it was quite nice.
Cool.
Yeah, I haven't done immersive creatures mostly because I'm afraid of a little too much spawning. I have so much other stuff going on, but I do run Skytest, which is another sort of animal AI mod that does some stuff. It doesn't add a lot of creature spawns though. Immersive creatures looks really cool though.
Yeah, it replaces the spawns. It doesn't add extra ones from what I've.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, okay. I thought it added a whole bunch more. But that's cool.
I think the things where they spawn, like that wolf at the corner from between Riverwood and Whiterun.
With the hairpin bend there, yeah.
Yeah. So 2 wolves come out of there instead of one, and one of them was a white, sort of like savage wolf or something like that. But it wasn't like there was 30 of them. And,
yeah, Skytest. Are there red wolves in the area between? I mean, are the red wolves a standard Skyrim thing, or is that added by a mod I have?
Yeah, that's added by a mod.
Is it okay? Yeah.
All you have is the wolf or an ice wolf.
Ice wolf, right? Okay. Yeah. Skytest makes wolves run in packs and things like that, and they'll gang up on bears and stuff. It's cool to watch, and it adds a lot of sounds and things for like the caribou and the elk do their trumpeting thing.
That's awesome.
It's cool. So,
what are some of the your favorite creatures that were not in Skyrim that were in like ESO and Oblivion and some of the other games?
Daedroth.
What's that?
It's a giant. It's like a dinosaur type thing. It's about the size of a man, bigger. Like a velociraptor but with a crocodile's head.
Oh, that sounds awesome. What was that in? Was that in Oblivion or?
It's in Oblivion. You can summon it as like you can summon a frost atronach.
Oh, that's
And
great.
And it's also in ESO, but I don't know whether you can use the spell to summon a Daedra. I know you can do a Winged Twilight in ESO. I don't know whether you can do
That's
that.
cool. And as a summoned creature as well?
Yeah.
That's cool. Nice.
Yeah, I actually got a new one last night. When I came back from Souls Time. I think this was from the Deadly Dragons mod. I got a wyvern, which was basically acting like a dragon, but it was a wyvern, which is really cool. Yeah.
What's it look like?
I can't really tell you because it was flying over. All I could see was the silhouette, and I don't remember exactly what a wyvern is. Whether what kind of weird composite creature it is. Do you know, Colin? I can't.
No.
Somebody could look it up. It's one of those things like a manticore or but it had a really cool looking silhouette. But it killed everything
I don't
in
know
sight.
what a manticore is.
A manticore is like a lion with a lion's head, a scorpion's tail, I think, isn't it? And something wings from something else.
That sounds awesome. That sounds
Yeah.
like a variation on the griffin or something like that.
Yeah, kind of like maybe I'm thinking of a griffin. Manticore is something else. Then I think.
No, a griffin is definitely eagle's head, lion's body. If it's lion's head
Is that what it is?
with,
Okay.
with a serpent tail, that's something different. That sounds cool. The scorpion tail, that's cool.
I think I remember a picture of a manticore on some Emerson, Lake and Palmer album cover from years ago.
So it must just be a classic monster from fantasy.
It
lore
is.
or something. Okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's really neat.
So, anyway, let's mod talk.
No, I enjoy the mod talk.
I was going to ask
Just-
Colin, have you tried transferring your character from the 360?
No, there's with Gonvar, there's not much point anymore because he's like all he has left is Dawnguard and the Civil War. That's it. Everything else is done. All the quests are all finished. So I could transfer him over. Well, I say I could. I probably couldn't. I'd probably muck it up.
Well, if you have a backup, you can't kill anything. But it'd be fun to bring him in and put him into, say, something like Familiar Faces or something where you can save him as an NPC and play him that way.
Yeah, but I'm incredibly lazy as well. So.
Did I hear you guys talk about that there was a way to take someone else's data from their character and drop them into your game? Like they couldn't control them like it was an MMO. Like you couldn't play together, but you could have like one of Colin's characters dropped into your game. Or I think I remember Victor saying that you can have different players from different playthroughs and you drop them in to games.
Yeah.
You can
That's
do that. Okay.
That's the mod I was just mentioning, Familiar
Yeah.
Faces, yeah.
Familiar Faces does that. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's really awesome. I've used it a lot, especially with my family of Nords that I've been playing with. So
Yeah. And plus you can add multiple followers. You can have more than just one follower. So that's great that you can have this whole, marauding team behind you.
Yeah.
With all your mods. Well, a mod that I would want that I always feel is kind of missing in the Skyrim world. Granted, I'm playing on PlayStation 3, so, I can't mod, but this probably exists in some fashion. But when I'm swimming underwater, going all over the place, I kind of like to look around, but I've stopped investing so much time in looking around because not a ton happens underwater when you're out in the middle of lakes or you're out around the edge of Skyrim swimming or on the north coast or whatever. I always want there, when I'm swimming around, to be like a giant monster plesiosaur come out of nowhere or like a shark, or a giant squid or something pop up and attack me out of nowhere. But it seems like there's the occasional, whatever those nasty fish are.
Slaughterfish, yeah.
Yeah, the slaughterfish and, other kind fish. But there's not a ton of like monsters that come at you from underwater. That's always something I thought that could have been expanded upon.
That would be really cool. I don't think there is one. At least I haven't seen one. That's
underwater
been
monsters mod would be cool.
Well, at least buff up the slaughterfish. They're ridiculous. I mean, they're like annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't do anything.
Yeah.
hang on a second. Sorry, I'm going to go close my window.
Okay. Sounds like they're having a good time out at the pool, at least.
Yeah.
So, Colin.
Yeah.
What's been going on, man?
Yeah, the new character I started, I was thinking about starting an Argonian or something like that, but I can't believe it. But I made a serious wood elf archer. Real.
Oh, really? That's totally opposite of what you usually go for.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd better go for it because I started that Breton for the Dead is Dead, like the third one, and I couldn't get involved in that. So,
what are the benefits of Breton? They're the usual magic, if I'm not mistaken, right? Aren't they big in the magic realm?
yeah, when you start off with a Breton, he's already got the what is it? The Conjure Familiar spell straight away. So
Oh, nice. That's
pretty
helpful.
cool. But with the mods always running, anything that hit it just one-shotted it. So.
Oh, yeah.
I've never played a Breton. By the way, apologies to everybody for all the noise in the background there. I hope that didn't come through too badly.
We could hear him a little bit, but it's not a big deal. I mean, if Blake wants to get children, he wants to get mad at children for having fun, then, his cold heart can just rot in his Grinch body, I guess. But no, thanks for closing the window. That's nice.
No, I shot them all.
That was good. Yes, that was a little sniper rifle.
Yeah. That's why I turned my mic mute.
That's why.
Sorry for calling.
No, go ahead, Victor.
No. I was just say that's why I turned the mute on so you wouldn't get gunshots.
Let's hear bodies dropping. That's the only sound.
Yeah, but you didn't go out and loot them, Victor. That's bad form, sir.
I'll do that later.
Looting children.
Their bodies will persist for a while,
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should go ahead and get into the show a little bit here. We had a nice little chat introduction there, but we'll go ahead and stick to our usual script. And Victor, could you give us your hometown and maybe just a couple of your favorite podcasts that you listen to?
All right. Yeah, I'm Victor from Western Massachusetts, the town of Northampton. And let's see, podcasts I listen to. I listen to a lot of tech and gaming podcasts. Probably my most regular gaming podcast listen these days is DLC, downloadable content. Jeff Kanata's podcast is pretty good. He does some tabletop gaming too, which is a lot of fun because I don't do much of it, but it's fun to hear about it. What else? I guess I listen to the Game Informer podcast, which is enjoyable. Indoor Kids occasionally, a whole bunch of them. I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Oh, good.
So.
I think I've seen you comment about Giant Bomb here and there as well.
Yeah, I like Giant Bomb. It's a little. It's sometimes a little too much of a bro fest for me, but
yeah, that does get a little broy.
But other than that, yeah, they have some good stuff to say about games. They're smart guys. So I didn't like this new guy off the bat. Plus, it was kind of tragic about what happened, a year ago. Anyway, but I'm sort of warming up to him. He's kind of a knob, but
Nice.
Anyway, so yeah, I listen to Giant Bomb too.
Cool. And Colin, we'll check in with you, sir.
Yeah, hi, my name's Colin. I'm calling in from England. Podcasts. Apart from Skyrim Addict, Earwash, all the rest of them were well behind. I listened to Paper Keg. I'm about 3 episodes behind on that. And Hollywood Babylon, I'm about 6 episodes behind on that.
Nice. I think Hollywood Babylon's taken a little bit of a break since Tusk came out. I think Kevin Smith might be out doing promotional tour or something. They haven't uploaded a Hollywood Babylon in a couple of weeks.
No, on mine it's got the little red dots. I'm about 6 behind on it.
Okay. And well, thank you for mentioning Earwash Show. I don't know if I've ever actually mentioned it on this podcast before.
No, I listen to that every week.
Yeah, me too. I do too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, guys. You never know who listens. I don't really.
The only problem is that that's the only that, Skyrim Addict, and what do we call it? Sometimes the Paper Cake. But as I said, I'm 3 weeks behind on that. That's the only podcasts I listen to. And you talked about those on the very first episode.
yeah. Well, I don't know if it's the most recent. It's probably 2 episodes ago now. But on Paper Keg, they just did the Brian Epstein story. What was it called? I think maybe it's called The Fifth Beatle or something. They did a graphic novel about his background, and it sounds super interesting. It makes me want to go check out that trade.
Yeah, the last one I heard was, I think they were talking about Andre the Giant.
Yeah, I listened to that one too. That's a really good episode. Yeah, they seem like they've been getting into a lot of those kind of maybe not so like superhero-y comic books, but like I didn't even know these other like actual history or real life autobiography type graphic novels and trade paperbacks actually existed until I started seeing them pop up. The one about Andre the Giant, and now this one about Brian Epstein. It's pretty cool. So shout out to Paper Keg Podcast. I am Andrew, and I live just north of Indianapolis, Indiana, in a little sleepy town called Noblesville. And some podcasts I like. My priority show every week is the Todd Glass Show. It's one of my favorites. And if you like football, I would suggest everyone check out the Around the NFL podcast. It's a great mishmash of comedy and wonderful football news and statistics. So Todd Glass Show, Around the League, or it used to be called Around the League. Now it's called Around the NFL podcast. I don't know why, but they had to do a title change on the show recently. But Victor, would you like to tell us a little bit about your Roundtable character? Have you stuck with the same character, or did you start a new one for Solstheim?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sticking with Slythe. He's a great character. I'm really enjoying playing him.
I forgot what he looked like. You just posted a picture recently. And it's like, oh man, he is harsh looking. I would not like to get on his bad side.
He's kind of a scary guy sometimes, but that's actually, as I said, I think in a post, a new skin texture mod, or actually more than just skin texture, body textures that just popped up on the Nexus a couple of days ago, and I think he looks awesome. It's a really nice. Plus, I started using. I redid a lot of my graphics on all my mods, all my characters. Because I'm using Mod Organizer, so I can play a bunch of different characters through the profiles, and I redid it a lot and stabilized a lot of things, and it's running a lot better now. So I've been able to run more high performance ENVs, and so that's a season. What you're seeing in that image was Seasons of Skyrim in its full form, rather than the performance INI. So it has the DOF, the depth of field, and a lot of the other ambient occlusion things that. But yeah, so it came out. It's a good picture. Plus his one eye. That's another mod that makes the Dunmer eyes look a little more not three-dimensional, but deeper. They have nicer color and better looking. So,
you mentioned you play on different profiles. What was your mod organizer called again?
That's what it's called. It's the name of the app. It's Mod Organizer.
Oh, that's what it's called.
The alternative to. Yeah, it's the alternative to the Nexus Mod Manager, which Nexus has.
And you said it allows you to have different profiles. With your different profiles, will that allow you to have different mods set up for each character, or do you have to have all mods?
Exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
That's what
really
it's for,
nice.
Yeah. It has its quirks. There's a bit of a learning curve to Mod Organizer, but it's once you sort of get a handle on it, I'm still learning it. But the profiles are really powerful. It's really good.
So what does Slythe think of his first exposure to Solstheim?
Well, of course, he feels kind of at home there, being a dark elf. So he's meeting all kinds of cool people, and he's already had his eyes turned away from Berlina to a couple of pretty dark elves there in Raven Rock. And the dark elves are pretty randy folk. So, but he enjoyed it. Yeah, he enjoyed his time. So I won't go beyond that until we get into the narrative of the thing.
And Colin, what are your first impressions of Solstheim?
Yeah, I mean, I had to obviously let the guy who greets you off the boat inform him of who he was dealing with first. Less of that lip, and it's none of his business why I'm there. But no, he's there and he's doing a really big favour, I think he might be doing a really big favour. I wanted to ask Victor if Slythe has any allegiances to House Radoran, or does he have any history that's not unresolved with the Morag tongue?
At the moment, I have to say that I haven't really thought that through enough to flesh it out, to be very honest. So he doesn't have any history with the Redoran house, but as far as no, I need to really sit down and think about that. It's a good question.
Hey, Colin, do you have enough knowledge to give us just a brief background history about House Redoran, what that means, what they mean to Solstheim?
Well, House Redoran were the people who took control after the attack during the Oblivion Crisis. I think they were attacked by the Argonians of Blackmarsh, and they had no formal army, from what I can remember. Something happened to their army, and they got totally overrun by the Argonians. After they got overrun by the Argonians, they were all in disarray until House Redoran stepped up and took control. And it was them who were the leaders who basically drove the Argonians back and saved them. And now they lead the council. But I'm not 100% sure. I haven't been on Solstheim in ages. I'm not 100% sure what it is roughly about. I know that they're the ones who took control during the war with the Argonians.
And another piece of brief history, if either of you know, Solstheim is not part of Skyrim. What section of Tamriel does it owe allegiance to?
Morrowind, doesn't it? It's part. Isn't it part of Morrowind?
Yeah, that's what you get when you come off the boat.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah. This isn't Solstheim. This isn't Skyrim. This is part of Morrowind.
And it is a drastic difference once you step off of the boat for the first time in Solstheim. You notice lots of texture differences, especially from the north side of Skyrim where you're coming from. You can't really tell where in relation to Skyrim Morrowind lays, or at least Solstheim. If you're just looking at the Skyrim map, you're up in Windhelm at the docks, and there's an arrow pointing northeast. So that would make you think that wherever you're going would be, more north and more cold. Like maybe it would lead you to some place that is more snowy and mountainous, like the north side of Skyrim. But once you show up, it is anything but snowy. It's covered with.
Solstheim is all glacial on the north side of the island is very cold and snowy. I think
on the north side, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you just look at the map, because when it says when you want to go from Solstheim back to Skyrim, it has you traveling southwest.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird that the north side of Skyrim is snowy, the south side of Solstheim is not, but the north side, you would think that it would be a more continuous climate zone. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting in over my head here, but
no. But I think that's because of the Red Mountain. I think it's the
because
eruptions of the Red Mountain that are warming it up.
And what happened with the Red Mountain? Can you remind us a little bit about the history of Solstheim and the Red Mountain?
I'll let Colin take that one because I can't remember exactly what it was that caused it to explode. There's a lore. There's some lore there. I can't remember what it is.
I think it was in one of the books. Something about a floating island or something. I really don't know. I know it was a couple of 100 years ago.
We need to call Ben. Ask Ben what's going on.
Yeah, Ben would know. Yeah,
but anyway, the Red
there's
Mountain
a legend
refers to
there.
the. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for our listeners, if you're not super familiar with Solstheim, there is a Red Mountain, which is a volcano. There's an explosion a couple hundred years ago. And so that basically means the whole southern half, maybe third of Solstheim is pretty much covered in ash. There's still ash everywhere. You see it piled up on the buildings running through Raven Rock, which is the main port city on the southwest side of the island of Solstheim. And you see ash piled up everywhere, and the food and foliage is different than Skyrim. There's ash yams, there's ash this and that. Everything basically has some ash to it. And it's just basically a different environment, which is a fun change to Skyrim. Go out there, and it looks a lot different than any one section of Skyrim looks. So that is one of the first things I noticed when going up into Solstheim. Do you guys have other observations just about Solstheim in general? Some of the major differences between that and Skyrim? Maybe some of the enemies or the architecture, what the houses look like, that sort of thing?
Yeah,
Well, it's
I
very.
think- Go ahead.
Go ahead, Colin. No,
No,
go
that's
ahead.
all right. Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's very reminiscent of Morrowind. I didn't play Morrowind much, but obviously, but it's all the mushroom or the fungal houses that particularly the where are they? Is it Redoran or the wizards of the house?
Telvanni.
Telvanni, is it?
Telvanni,
Yeah,
yeah.
Telvanni. Yeah, that grow the mushroom, and so yeah, it's and even the music is from a lot of the music that you hear on Solstheim is from Morrowind.
That's cool. See, I've only played a little bit of Oblivion. I haven't played much of any of the older games at all. So this is all brand new to me, but it's very self-referential to the older games. So what else has been recycled from Morrowind up into Solstheim? That's really cool. And the mushroom buildings you were mentioning?
Yeah, no, I was waiting for Colin to pipe in there.
Sorry. What's going on? Who's? What? I was asleep.
Wake up.
Yeah, was it? No, the mushrooms are House Telvanni. They grow them. Apparently, that was in Morrowind, and Nelos was in Morrowind, the game as well. I haven't played Morrowind, but apparently he was in the game. Oh, Nelos. And,
Wow. So how old is he? How many hundreds of years have passed between Morrowind and Skyrim?
I have no idea. Couple,
Okay.
2. I don't. As I said, I
2
haven't
years.
played Morrowind. yeah.
Yeah, again, I don't know. I played it years ago on the PC.
What is the mushroom city called? Is that like Tel Mithrin or something similar?
Yeah.
I forget what it's called.
The one on Solstheim?
Yeah,
Yeah, Telemithrin, yeah.
Mithrin. Okay. So the mushroom houses
Am I?
are cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
just
and
like there's some basic differences, and I thought it's a really nice to have a different landscape feeling there. Not that Skyrim doesn't have a nice varied, sort of like the plains out west and the marshes to the northeast and sort of the forested regions of the south and the mountains of the north. Actually, northeast. I said something wrong. Northwest was the marshes, but the mountains and snows up into the north. Skyrim has a very varied, topography. But Solstheim is just something different than we've seen. It's like a volcanic ashland, at least in the southern third.
And I think some of the flora is also imported from Morrowind. The Scathe Caw and the what's that root? The something root.
Canis root, maybe.
No, that's from Skyrim.
Is that from Skyrim?
Canis root, yeah. There's something else.
Trauma root.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. Those are. I'm not sure if the ash hoppers are. I think they may have come from Morrowind. And certainly the what are they called? The silly loaded things that netch. Thank you.
The netch. Can you
And
explain what a
Strider.
netch looks like? To me, it just looks like I don't know, a floating limb with tentacles coming down or something, sort of.
Yeah, I'm not
Like
even
a
sure what
floating
they're...
brain looking thing almost.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I just kill them occasionally for the jelly.
Yeah. Does it give you a good? I know it gives you netch jelly.
Yeah.
Is that useful in alchemy at all?
It is, and I can't remember what it's good for. I'd have to hop in the game and look, but it's good for a couple of potions.
Good. I haven't brought it up yet, but I think my favorite new enemy, as I'm sure they can go either way. I'm not sure if it's always a bad guy. I think I've heard that it can be a good guy as well. But the Reeklings are my favorite addition added by Solstheim. Yeah, they're like the Munchkins from the Wizard of Oz, but demon versions of them basically. And I love that they ride around on boars. They treat pigs like they're stallions. I think that's a really, really great addition. The first time I saw that one of those riding over the crest of a ridge coming at me, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're sort of like Ewoks meet gremlins.
That's a perfect description. That's really good. It's
or as Gunvar said, you little piddly blue bastard, I'm going to get you.
You can probably take 4 or 5 of them out with the one swing of a two-handed warhammer there.
Yeah, no, I'm very fond of Reeklings.
I love them because they have just the most random junk in their huts. They take garbage from the Dark Elves or the Nords up in whatever town in Skull Village. They take all their refuse and they treat them sort of like treasures, and they put them in weird formations, and they can tell they're like making like little statues and stuff out of other people's garbage. I think it's really cute.
Did you see the horse and cart in one of their caves?
What'd they do with that?
They made a horse and cart out of all crap,
out of garbage,
and they're all praying to it when you walk in. You walk in and you sneak, and they're all laying down and praying to the horse and cart image.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. So that was just basically some introductory differences between Skyrim and our new adventure area of Solstheim. Victor, could you remind us of your character's name, the 3 assigned attributes, what your homestead is?
Sure. Well, it's Slythe Aaron, and he was assigned he was assigned alchemy and enchanting and two-handed, in which he is now almost at 100 in the two-handed. He's like 97. He's long since gone past 100 in alchemy, and is only, I think it was 76 or 7 after some disenchanting I did during Solstheim, this latest Solstheim adventures. That's where he's at with his enchanting.
Great. Colin, how about you remind us of where Gunvar is?
Hi, my character's name is Gunvar Oakenmaster. His attributes were one-handed, illusion magic, and speech. He's now got 103.
Wow.
His house was Breezehome, which he still works out of Breezehome, but he's shifted the rest of the family to Lakeview Manor.
Oh, nice. Victor, where's
I forgot.
Slythe staying?
Yeah, I forgot. Helyarkin Hall is his homestead, and which he likes very much. In fact, it's always been my favorite of the 3 Hearthfire homes, and he's using he's built a farm or resurrected a farm right next to Helyarkin Hall called Helyarkin Farm, which he's working on right now.
Is this added by a mod?
Yes, it's a mod.
What are you
growing?
growing?
A good one, in fact. I haven't started growing anything yet. He's just actually Helyarkin Hall or Helyarkin Farm had been abandoned. There's some lore attached to it if you read the little book that comes with it. But it had been abandoned, and you're allowed to either, if you have enough money, purchase the upgrades and hire workers to do the upgrades, or do them yourself. So I actually spent a lot of time over the last several hours of playing, gathering all the right ingredients, firewood and iron and all the other things It's very sort of it works off some of the Hearthfire additions, like locks and nails and things like that. So anyway, that's what Slythe is doing in between his forays to Solstheim.
Great. Hey, Colin, will you be keeping the family out at Lakeview and Whiterun, or do you think you might relocate anyone up to Solstheim at any time soon?
You can't.
You can't relocate family up there?
No.
Will you set up any sort of a home base there?
I haven't gotten the house yet there. There's, Veloth, the captain of the Federal Guard, he mentioned having a look in an abandoned shack when you're supposed to be looking for that Ember brand wine. But no, I haven't. I'll just keep on selling everything. And I stored it in one of the urns that's right in the center of town, so I just stored everything in there.
Oh, nice. Is storage safe in those urns around town?
No, but if you keep on going back off it enough and pulling it out and then putting it back in again, it won't disappear.
It keeps people out of it.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of safe storage containers, but I don't know where they are.
Will that abandoned shack be useful?
I'm not too sure.
I didn't know if you could treat it like a niece's cabin or something where you could. That'd be a good place to start off, to have a place to store junk.
Well, eventually you get a house in Raven Rock, right? That's later on.
Yeah.
In the course of things.
I'm sure this is not the title of it, but it sounds like House Slytherin to me, like Harry Potter, something. Severin, maybe, something like that.
Severin Manor,
yeah. So, I was just wondering what your guys's what your play through would be like if you keep coming back and forth, hauling stuff back and forth, go back to Whiterun to sell stuff, or if you just set up shop up north and so you don't have to keep taking the boat back and forth, or what?
No, I'm just staying in Solstheim. I'm not going back. I'm like I'm there for permanent and I'm not leaving until I'm finished.
Great.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm definitely doing the traveling back and forth. Slythe does not want to move the kids. They're very happy at Heliarchen. In fact, Sophie's been a little trouble lately, so we don't want to, cause any more trouble. So she's been acting out, So Koznak and Berlina are staying home with Sophie for now. I think one of them may accompany me to Solstheim at some point. But.
Keeping her in line.
Yeah.
Colin, you had mentioned you were having trouble with getting one of your children to appear at home. Was that resolved?
Yeah, I was at Furnished Honeyside and then told Omlug to move the family to Honeyside. Once he got to Honeyside, Sophie showed up there.
And then you told them, can you tell them then to move back to Lakeview?
Yeah. Well, no, I told them to go back to Breezehome because that's where we were at the time. But she's still bugged because I can't initiate contact with her. I can't talk to her. When you activate, the only time I can ever give her anything or talk to her is when you come home and she runs up to you and go, "Oh, Papa, can you give me money? Did you bring me something back?" That's the only time I can actually talk to her. If I go to try and initiate contact myself, it won't work.
That's too bad.
Well, if my overbearing grandparents taught me anything, it was that children are to be seen and not heard, right?
Yeah. What's that old, is it Flanders and Swan? Be cruel to your little boy and beat him when he sneezes.
I don't know what that is.
I think it was Flanders. Yeah, anyway.
That's the Victor family motto, I think.
That's right, yes.
That's how Massachusetts folks treat their kiddos.
Yep.
Well, did we have any exciting events or cool bugs or just weird stuff pop up over the last couple of weeks in their playthroughs?
Yeah. I was doing Dawnguard. I was just getting a mess of bugs. I was doing Dawnguard. And when we got into her mother's place where you're going to go through to the Soul Cairn, for some reason, Serana just stopped dead and then span in position. Just started spinning around, just for no reason. And
wow.
I was like, and she wouldn't move. She was supposed to come up and put her blood into the thing, but she wouldn't move. So I was like, oh, well, I'm inside. I can't use or is it clear sky? So I'm going to just have to foo through Daha out of the way. So I blasted her right over to the other side of the room. And then after that, every single NPC in my entire game just randomly would stop and then spin.
What?
Oh, no.
Everyone's
Yeah.
possessed. You've got demons in everyone's heads there.
Walk up through Whiterun, and then sort of like Nazim would just stop and then just start spinning in position.
Oh, that's so
And then
funny.
other people- and I couldn't handle it, and it turned out it was because I was playing for like 18 hours. Once I turned it off and went to bed and came back, then everything was fine.
Oh, wow.
the
That's
Xbox was
interesting.
just Xbox was just like, dude, let me get some sleep.
Turn me off.
Please. That's funny.
That's
I wish there was some mechanic like the console on the PC quote console unquote on the actual consoles that you could actually get into and do something, to reset AI. Like,
Do you think that's something they would consider adding in future versions?
absolutely not. No way. No, because they don't want the overhead to of people messing around with it, of course. Because that's the whole point of the console is it's a fixed entity. Unlike the PC games. So.
Well, before we move into the actual quests, I just wanted to read a quick email we have. We have an email from Brady Speed, and the subject is New Play Along Character. He says, "Hello, everyone. I'm late to the podcast, but would love to play along during Season 2. Could you please assign me some random attributes? Thanks, Brady." And yes, Brady, by all means, welcome to the show. And we welcome everyone to do a play-along. If anyone is interested in doing that, please write us an email at skyrimroundtable@gmail.com, and we will hook you up. This is what Brady has been dealt for his hand for his adventures in Solstheim. He has gotten a Bosmer, which is a wood elf, if I'm not mistaken, and a female. The warrior skill is one-handed. Mage skill, illusion, and thief skill, alchemy. That sounds like a pretty useful batch of skills there. Stat spread, Magicka 3, Health 2, Stamina 0.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah. Spouse is Dirkethus, and I have no idea who Dirkethus is. Home is Winstad Manor. Where's that one? Is that in Windhelm?
No, it's near Morthal.
Yeah.
Morthal. Okay. Oh, is that one of the Hearthfire houses?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. His human follower, at least the first one, I'm sure. I've gone through a couple, so I'm sure he'll maybe use a couple too. Human follower is Durak. D-U-R-A-K, Durak. Other follower, and I'm excited about this one, is a Reekling Warrior. So that'll be fun. I know that you have to play a certain quest a certain way in order to get that to happen, I believe. And it's here in Solstheim in our next... I think it might be in our next batch of quests, maybe.
It's the Thirst Meat Hall.
The Thirst Meat Hall quest, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But depending on how
Brady?
you
I'm
play
sorry.
that... Yeah, go ahead.
I would say if he or she is playing on a PC, there's a new mod called Winstad Mine, which is by the same person that did the Heliarchan farm that I'm using. So it's a nice adjunct to Winstad Manor. So.
Oh, cool. So I assume you get yourself a nice little mine there, and you can get your
It's a
pickaxe
big mine, yeah. It costs a lot of money
stuff out of there.
to build it up, but it's very cool. It's very interactive. It's a good mod.
As it should cost a lot to develop a mine. Have you ever developed a mine? Come on, that costs a lot of money to invest in.
I'm sure it does.
The faction that Brady has been dealt is the Companions, which will be interesting for a Bosmer, and travel by horseback. So welcome to the show, Brady, and we're glad to have you along. Again, if anyone else would like some random attributes assigned, please join us at skyrimroundtable@gmail.com, and we'd be happy to have you do a play-along. And Brady, if you'd like to join in on the show, as you can see, we're back down to 3 for this episode. Always looking for more people to throw out good ideas, so you can join us on the podcast if you ever get the whim.
Welcome, Brady.
Yes, welcome.
All right. So, welcome, Brady, and we will go ahead and jump into our assigned quests for this episode. We will start out with Dragonborn. Colin, what happens in the Dragonborn quest? How does it start? What happens during the quest? And how do we wrap it up?
With the Dragonborn quest, I think that when you're level 10 on on Skyrim, and they heard that once you finish up at High Hrothgar and get sent off to go and get the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller, they will approach you just outside Iverstead, saying, "Are you the one who's claiming to be the new Dragonborn?" And it'll be these cultists in weird, funky masks that you've never witnessed before. And you have multiple choices of what you can say to them, but eventually they attack you, saying that this guy, Mirak, he's the true Dragonborn, and you're just a pretender, and the lies will stop now. So they attack you. Once you kill them, you find a note on them saying that they've come from a place called Solstheim on a certain ship, and you need to head to Solstheim to find out who's killing you, or who's been sent, why they're sending you to kill you. Once you get to Windhelm, you jump in the ship, and he takes you to Solstheim. And once you get to Solstheim, you ask a few of the people if they know of a gentleman called Mirak. Most of them don't, and it's very obvious that something is affecting their minds and stuff like that. But finally, if you took to...
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you talk to... there's a certain few of them will actually remember from a dream a temple in the center of Solstheim. So you head up there. Once you head up to the temple at Mirak's temple, you will meet a lady there who's trying to help her companions by the name of Freya. And she offers to join you or ask you to help her out. And then you finish Dragonborn.
Yep, that's the end of the quest. Once you agree to help Freya, does she then become a follower? Does she start tagging along with you at that point?
Only inside.
Only inside? It's not like you can treat her like Esbern and, go and do him a favor and then have him in tow for whatever else you're doing?
No, you can't leave the temple and then go back outside and have a follower follow you. She'll stay in there and you'll have to do the temple run.
The temple run, nice. Well, yeah, that's a good summary of Dragonborn. Did you guys have anything fun happen? Where did your cultist attack you guys? Do you remember?
Oh my god.
It happened so long ago for me at this point, but I do remember where it happened.
Oh,
I mean the first ones?
Yeah.
Because
the first time
they keep
the first
coming
time.
after a while, yeah.
I've only seen one attack. I've only been
Really?
attacked once by the cultists, as far as I can remember.
Well, you're lucky.
yeah,
I kind of wish
They're
they'd show.
like
I keep having damn vampires show up every time I show up to a new place. Vampires pop out of the woodwork. I wish it were cultists instead of stupid vampires.
That's funny because they're literally like flies. They keep popping out of the woodwork. Cultists and thieves and assassins in my game. It's constantly fending them off.
Yeah, I've got the sorry, Andrew. I've got the adept cultists attacking me now. They're the ones who shoot shock at you. And
Oh, wow.
And was it they conjure seekers? I was like, seeker, what the hell?
Will they conjure them out in
Yeah.
the open in regular Skyrim, or do you have to be on Solstheim?
No, I was coming out of Fort Dawnguard, and there he was attacking me, and then
Yeah.
summoned up a seeker.
Wow.
Yeah, I got one too.
Yeah, I've definitely never seen that. That's really cool. Well,
I also got a secret.
Cool is in
on
the eye of the
Solstice
beholder.
outside, yeah. I think if I remember correctly, the first time they attacked me was in Whiterun. Attack Slythe, that is. That was the first cultist.
Now, mine happened in Riverwood, and I found the note and all that. And
Did you
like-
jump down the mountain, Andrew?
jump down the mountain.
Yeah, when you got left High Hrothgar, did you just jump down the side of the mountain and then go straight to Riverwood instead of going down by...
I tumbled down the mountain and killed my stupid horse. I swear I've bought like 15 horses by now. I never like going down. I never like going down the path for some reason. I always try to find the quickest way down those mountains, and it never turns out well. I should go out and do the Dark Brotherhood so I can get Shadowmere. I think I may have Shadowmere somewhere, but I keep buying horses for some reason. I need to go check my stable, make sure Shadowmere's not standing there, or by the Black Pool. I bet you Shadowmere's just standing there waiting for me to come get her. But the first time I saw them was in Riverwood, and I do have to admit, I really like the robes and the mask. Do they have any enchantments that are worthwhile on them?
Magical regeneration. That's it.
Yeah, that's not too impressive, but I do have in the armory on my house, I have the mannequins set up, and I put on the cultist mask and robes because I think they look really nice. I've got other armor underneath them, but I put those on last, so those are the ones that are displayed in my home. I think they're really cool looking.
I didn't know you can do that. You can actually stack armor on a mannequin?
Yeah, I've got all my... I guess I must have done the Dark Brotherhood because I've got like the shrouded hood and stuff like that, and I've got my old armor all on there. Yeah, I can do it at least, so I'm sure you can with all your PC and mods and stuff. Yeah, I just load up the one mannequin. I just put a ton of armor on him. I think you can only put so much, but I've got at least 5 different sets of armor all on the one mannequin.
I just never, for me, I never used the mannequins. I built the trophy room at Helyark, and I never put anything on mannequins. For me anyway, it's a personal thing. It's an aesthetic thing. I hate the lighting in the hearth houses, and it's just flat and nasty, and nothing looks good on the mannequins. Even it's nice to have the stuff there, but it doesn't look good, and I want things to look good.
I'm surprised there's not like a lighting mod or something for that specific event.
There kind of are, but none of them really do justice to that. Unfortunately. What I actually did, this is a weird aside, but when I was playing on the 360, I discovered that if you take a torch and throw it in a corner, and then I forget exactly if you had to pick it up and put it down again or something, the torch would light, and then it would throw this really cool light off the corners of the rooms, and
nice.
That was really. It was actually nice. It's better than any of the lighting mods I've had in even the good lighting mods like ELFX and Realistic Lighting Overhaul for the PC don't really do justice to the inside of the Hearthfire houses.
Wow, that's really surprising that just a tossed torch on the ground would do better lighting.
Well, if you have to put it in the right place, put it in the corner of a room, and it'll just cast some really nice lights and shadows and things. It's cool.
That's what I do in the basement of Lakeview Manor. I've got 2 torches on the opposite sides of my my smithing area down there in the basement because I just didn't want to go around collecting all the goat horns and stuff that you have to use to get the light sconces. So I just put a couple torches in the corners, and so my whole basement is lit up just by having a couple torches down there.
Well, I have a thing about killing goats, so I always have a ready supply of goat horns.
Because you love the goat meat?
I love curried goat, yes. If I could make curried goat in Skyrim, I would.
I've got about 50 or 60 goat horns because I just go around buying them because doing the speech, which sucks up all your perks. Having to put all your perks in the speech. And what was the other one? I can't remember, but it just sucks up all your perks. So I got no perks in any armor, no heavy armor, no light armor. That's it's just annoying. But the the money's nice. And you can buy anything. You should see my inventory of all my, apparel. I got Peerless Wielding, Peerless Knight, Peerless Sneaking, Peerless, all on the rings and on the necklaces. And I think I'm only like 10 underneath my maximum weight at any given time because I'm walking around carrying everything on me at all times.
How many perks does it take to actually get the speech up that high?
Let's see, you got the first 5, and then you got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up one side, and then you got the other side. There's probably 12 or 13 perks. Wow,
yeah, that's a lot of levels.
How many perks does it take to screw in a light bulb? Sorry. I keep it.
Well, first you have to have the Hand of Fate perk.
Yeah.
Screw in a torch bulb. Yeah. So we got any more thoughts on Dragonborn? It's kind of a basic kind of quest.
I had to restart because I didn't know that that's where Dragonborn ended. So I was there and I was like, right, get there and the first quest, Dragonborn. I run up to I go to sleep because that'll send you to one of the stones, won't it? If you go to sleep, you wake up and then you're working on one of the stones.
Yeah.
It'll lead into the quest as well. So I come out, I run up, get to the temple, and then Dragonborn completed. Oh, okay, well, this is it. And then it leads immediately straight into, the Temple of Mirak.
Uh-huh.
But that's the second lot of quests.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've already done this one, so now I've got to stop, leave Freya in there, go back, and then do like other different quests. So I was like, well, that doesn't work. So I had to go back on a save, and then start off the town, and then do the other quests first. So then it would lead up to doing, and then I could finish Dragonborn and then end there just outside the temple.
Yeah. See, I kind of worked out the schedule in that I took all the quests for everything having to do with Mirak and put one of those in each episode.
Yeah.
So we will basically be hopefully killing, but going up against Mirak in the last episode of Season 2. So you're right. That does go right into the Temple of Mirak, which would be the next quest, probably the first quest of Episode 2. But you're right. I didn't restart everything. I just went up and helped her, and then Freya let me into the temple. But then I was like, all right, I'll see you later. I got to go off and go off and help Captain Valeth with these ash spawn on the south side of town.
Yeah, to be very honest, I actually didn't. I did not actually complete Dragonborn for that very reason. So I'm going to do that and lead into the next one.
Yeah, that's probably the smartest way to go about it. Yeah, so just with the organization of everything, I knew right offhand that this was probably going to have some kinks here and there with how I organized everything. But I just wanted to make the whole storyline encompass the whole of Season 2, so we didn't play all of the Mirak stuff right off the bat and then just do all the miscellaneous quests along the side. But
because if you'd done it the other way, then we'd finished the Mirak thing in like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Just messing around. This way is.
Then you're just derping around. Yeah.
Well, speaking of the other side quests and miscellaneous quests, March of the Dead was next. Would anyone want to take a break before we get into March of the Dead? Does anyone need a drink topic?
I'm good.
I need to go for a little, bathroom and get a drink.
All right, sounds good. We'll be back in just a couple minutes then, fellas. We'll see you in a second.
All right, that's not a bad idea.
We'll be right back with a message from our sponsors.
Welcome. Enter my house and see my balcony. You're bound to be astounded deeply that there's not another house in town as sweet. I bought my own land, built it with my own hands. It's like Chopin's piano, man, it's so grand. Whether you're a lady or a hood rat, good, bad, you won't resist me after witnessing my mud crab. I'll run a bubble bath with enchanted soot, have you pulling me off like a poorly fitted hubcap. I need the green to build my dream house, so I can grow my peas and beans and other greens in the greenhouse. Give me the keys, I'm keeping bees in the garden. Beat a skeever up, then bust a free with my bard. And I'm flossing in the trophy room, so don't go too soon. I still need to show you my minestrone suit. I baked in space cakes, laid straight with moon sugar. Got a housewife and 2 kids, but I'm no do-gooder. MTV Cribs, I'm still the Dragonborn, but now it's my cow that has the badass horns. It's getting late, I hope you understand. Look, Corey's coming on in 5, sing it off my land! Milk drinker!
And we're back. Welcome, everyone. We will jump into the March of the Dead quest here. Victor, do you have any recollection about what happens in the March of the Dead quest?
The UESP is just popping up here.
Just to say hello.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yes, the March of the Dead. Of course. Yes, I knew it all along.
UESP is a great friend. We always welcome the USP to pop in on an episode.
No, I just had to. I don't. It's like when people ask me if I know that song, and I don't know songs by titles. I just So anyway. So yes. So you're on your first foray outside of Raven Rock. You come across Captain Veloth, who's fighting some ash spawn, and in the course of a conversation, you find out that he is trying to figure out why the ash spawn are attacking, and he asks you to help him find some clues around this abandoned. Is it an abandoned farm or a burned out farm because of the ash spawn? I don't remember.
I imagine it might be burned out since the ash spawn chuck all those fireballs at you.
Yeah. So you look for some clues, and you find a clue on the declaration of war on the body or the ash pile of one of the spawn. And it turns out that this General Falk Carius, who is also a character from Morrowind, I believe, from the game Morrowind, as is Fort Frostmoth, was in. He has been, you don't know it yet, but he is declaring war and sending his ash spawn out. And Veloth can't figure out why, since Carius has been dead for 200 years. So he assigns you to go and figure it out. Would you like me to stop there, or should I continue?
Whatever you feel. What does... do you remember any specifics from your quest you'd like to get into?
As in what I did? Well, I went and took care of business.
Yeah. Anything? How did you find the ash spawn? You seem to be semi-leveled up, maybe over 50 or so, right? Probably weren't.
Slythe is 53 now, but more importantly, he's wearing the ebony mail, which gives you 70% resistance to fire.
Oh, very useful.
So ash spawn are basically just annoying little gnats.
Nice.
Because I'm also wearing a necklace that I've enchanted with resist fire, so between that and the mail, I think I have about an 85% resistance to fire.
That's a really good idea. I didn't think about all my gear before I went over to Solstheim, but resistance to fire would definitely be a useful school of magic to have at your hands in order to go over to Solstheim. Seems like there's lots of fire throwing around over there.
Yeah, totally. So Slythe decided to go ahead and check out Fort Frostmoth. On the way, he met by accident. Is it Rallis, the guy who wants you to invest in his? Sedaris, yes, thank you. And we invested our money knowing full well that this is coming up in one of the future episodes. But
again and again.
Exactly. It takes a while, so I said, well, what the heck? I'll throw in the first 1,000 now and let it percolate. So then on the way. So eventually I made it to Fort Frostmoth. Yet again, hitting one, and this one I started this out. It's that abandoned house that has the cellar there. Brilliant, and then I realized, wait a minute, this might be part of a future, and so I stopped that one.
I believe that it is one of the side quests that I included. Okay,
it is. It didn't occur to me until I sort of. Well, I won't say because but it was obviously the cellar was getting more complex than it looks on the surface, and I thought this is kind of questy. So.
This might come up in the future.
Right, so I backed on out of there. I have to admit that Fort Frostmoth caused me some troubles. It was.
I know, right? It's more difficult than I remembered it being in the past.
Well, Falk Carius is tough because he carries that awesome cudgel, which is one of the best weapons in the game and one of the best enchantments in the game, I think.
I agree. Yes.
Beautiful.
And I'll stop and let Colin go on this. I've talked enough.
What happened in the fort with Gunvar? Colin, did Gunvar enjoy his little masquerade over to the fort?
Yeah. Was it when I was playing earlier on with what's his name, Aethys? He was getting obviously trounced by all the bandit chiefs. Literally take about 5 or 6 hits and then he'd be down. Then I sort of I had to go. I went and did Dawnguard, so I couldn't have him as a follower. So I set him free and then got what's her face. When I picked Aethys back up again, I gave him a load of Dragonborn armor, and now he doesn't seem to get hurt. He seems.
Nice.
I think after having that long break and then coming back, I think he's leveled up.
Oh, nice.
He had like a Rocky montage in the background while you were gone. He was like hitting slabs of beef in the basement, and doing push-ups on bales of hay.
He must have been doing
lifting
something,
tractor tires.
because he stood toe to toe with Carius.
Oh,
wow!
He just like
my follower definitely did not.
I mean, was it? I'm almost got my destruction magic to 100 now. And was it? I started shooting Ashborn with firebolts, and I was thinking, wait a second, I'm not being very smart here. And then I realised I didn't have the lightning bolt spell, and was it chain lightning is too strong? It sucks up too much of my magic.
Yeah, it sucks up a lot of your magicka.
So I went.
Did you have like Ice Spike or anything like that? I love that Ice Spike.
Yeah, I used Ice Spike.
Oh, I love that one. That's one of my favorites.
So I was using that, but there weren't any problem because I've got a necklace of the Firewalker, which is 70% resistant to
nice.
fire, and also
is that a named item that comes from somewhere in the game?
Yeah, I mean I bought most of my stuff from Radiant Raymond. Those girls love me.
Yeah, there's an amazing amount of good stuff there. You know, it's not just pretty clothes.
Where is that? And is that in
Solitude?
Solitude, right? The clothes shop.
Yeah, I mean, when you first go in there, you know how they're really, really rude to you.
Yeah. They're mean.
You get like a shit ton of money, and you invest in their shop. They love you. You come back and you say, oh my God, it's you again. I was like, and it comes up with the option, you're in a good mood. You know, only when certain company is here. How can I help you today?
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
I'll have to think about investing with them and getting some good enchanted items. That sounds great.
So, and
what else did you have?
I had the alteration perks of 30% base magic resistance. Nice. So that's all magic. So the fire spells weren't hurting me. It was just those big giant axes. It's what's his name? Aethys was just taking all the hits, and it didn't bother him, which is quite surprising. I mean,
that's what he's there for.
I I can smith Dragonborn, but I've got no perks in enchanting, and I've got no perks in alchemy. So I'm just using the regular enchants for my like the ones that you can find going around from here to there. So like I've got ebony gauntlets of smithing, and I've got a necklace of peerless smithing. So I haven't got the ones where you can make yourself with the maximum 34% and blah blah blah. So I haven't got the maximum gear, like the best you can possibly get. It's only like the average stuff. But he doesn't seem to take any damage whatsoever. I don't know what is going on.
Yeah, he just needed a little time off. You know, we all need a refresher every once in a while.
Yeah, I went in, but I didn't bring any followers to Solstheim, so I took on Frostmoth by myself.
Wow, ballsy.
But, well, like I said, the act spawn aren't a problem, so that they were pretty easy. So
yeah.
And so what I did was I just used an arrow with paralyze on it, paralyzed Carius, and then just hacked at him.
Ah, that's a great idea.
And that took him down fairly quickly because I'm pretty high and two-handed now. So I have a very powerful ebony great sword that I use.
Nice.
And that just took care of him. But it took several tries. I had to I don't know if it was a buggy save or something, but I like an idiot. I've shut off all my auto saves and quick saves because they tend to be buggy on the PC. So so I went through and did my thing with the paralyzing the general and killed him and ran off, did a bunch of stuff, and the game crashed.
Oh no. Of course.
And so I had to replay the whole thing, and then, of course, it didn't work out so well. It was like the third and fourth time. But I finally got him on the fifth retry.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And
he's tough. He really is.
I mean, it's not like the fort itself is all that horrible, but you do have to kind of like go here and then backtrack and go back to where you were originally, then go find the key and find the journal and come back.
Yeah.
So it is like you're back crossing the same path you came down a bunch of times. So.
Now, I'm curious, do you guys bother with the little spiders?
Oh, those jumping spiders that explode, what are those called?
Exploding jumping spiders.
Is that what they're called?
Strangely enough.
those little fuckers oh man, I need to definitely get some armor of fire abatement or something. I assume that would help work with those explosions, but
If you hit them with an arrow beforehand, then they just sort of turn into goo. But yeah, if they jump at you, you're dead.
Yeah, man, I wish that I ever picked up a bow once in my character's life. It's like
Really?
I've never.
That's amazing.
I don't ever touch a bow. If I have something I need to attack from a distance, I always use some sort of destruction magic or a shout of some sort.
I don't know. I think in the entire game, archery is probably the most powerful of all the things you can do.
I've done 3 big playthroughs where I've gotten deep into the game. You know, I've had some other side characters that I've kind of messed around with and not done much with. But I used a bow. I got to archery 100 level one time because I was trying to max out all of my levels for that one character.
I remember that, yeah.
But other than that, I have not touched a bow in the game. I don't even pick them up other than to sell them when I'm running around. Like,
well, there's the idea for your next playthrough, Bosmer.
Yeah, I definitely need to, maybe. I'm doing a Dead is Dead character now, but I assume that one won't last too long. Maybe I'll try another Dead is Dead character and do only archery and see how that...
Well, archery's good for Dead is Dead because it's ranged.
Yeah, because you want to keep your distance and have a follower in between. No, that's a great idea. But yeah, speaking of instant attacks, when I was fighting the General Carius there in Fort Frostmoth, I also died a couple times, and that final battle can be sort of gritty. But when I remembered, oh wait, I've got a pretty useful shout in my pocket, so I pulled out the, I believe it's called Ice Form shout, and I froze him, and that's stunned him to the ground, and he stays frozen for 15, 20 seconds, whatever it is, and that let me go around. And so Ogle, my orc follower, and I, so we dispatched with all the ash spawn and the dudes that are there in that final boss room. And then by the time that Carius was standing back up again, that let us have plenty of time to come back over and take care of him. So, and also don't feel lonely, Victor. It took me a couple tries to get him knocked out too.
You speaking about really good shouts, I just got Solitaire.
Oh, explain that one to us.
It's from Dawn Guard, and was it you get taught by Durnavir, and you shoot, you hit the person, and if they're down like 3/4 of the way, like they've just got a smidgen of health, it kills them, traps their soul in a slow gem for you, and it makes them your zombie follower.
Oh, wow.
For 60 seconds. It is awesome shout.
That is a really cool shout. You said that was in the Dawn Guard playthrough.
Yeah, when you meet Durnavir in the Soul Cairn.
I've actually only done Dawn Guard one time a good while back, so I'm excited to go and try it again. I've only been to the Soul Cairn once, so...
Yeah, you fight that dragon, and he teaches you a shout so you can summon him in Tamriel. So he comes to you like... but he's like a summon, like you summon Frost Atronach.
Uh-huh.
So you summon him, and he teaches you his own personal shout, which is Solitaire.
Wow. Awesome.
What's the cooldown for Solitaire? So a long one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like close to this fire and frost breath. I think maybe a little bit longer.
Well, do you get on the console game? Do you get shout perks in the speech tree?
No.
No. Okay.
So I'm running
the only thing you have is the Amulet of Talos that can give you a 10%.
20.
It's 20%, yeah.
20%. Okay, all right.
And the blessing.
So that helps a little
as well.
Oh, so you can get it'll stack to 40?
Yes.
Oh,
what'd you say does that? A stone of some sort?
Yeah, the blessing of Talos. When you
a blessing of Talos, yeah. But one of the standing stones doesn't help your shouts at all? Not that I can remember, but I was just asking if you knew one. The standing stone benefits, you would think, oh man, I could get rid of that, and that would like a reduced regeneration of shout time. That would be much more useful.
Yeah, to be thinking about it, there should be a Talos stone, so it's a permanent thing.
Yeah, that'd be great. So,
yeah, that's one of the things that annoys me the most about the shouts is that it's even with the 40% or with mods giving you boosts, it still takes too long as you become a better Dragonborn or whatever.
Yeah.
It just seems unbalanced or poorly balanced.
Yeah, as you get more practice with the shouts, it seems like the time between as you level up the shouts that would be shorter, but in actuality, the more words you collect, the longer it takes to regenerate.
Well, when an undead Draugr can outshout the last Dragonborn, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, he gets 3 shouts in the time that you get 1.
By the way, Victor, I stole your idea from the last show, and I unlocked all the disarm ones and went down and done all the Nordic ruins. And you know who it doesn't work on? The one that it has to work on, which is the Draugr Deathlord with the ebony bow.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he will one-shot you from across the room.
Yeah, it doesn't work on him. He's too tough. All the other Draugr Deathlords, it works on. Him, won't. Scumbag.
I don't remember the name of the location, but just east of the Labyrinthian, there's that little sort of you can go underground there, and there's always a death overlord in there that would always one-shot me with his ebony bow. And he does the disarm stuff too. He always takes it from you.
Yeah, I have atheists running around with like 4 weapons because they keep on disarming him and he won't go and pick the bastard thing up. So after the fight's over, I have to go around and search the entire ruin for all his weapons and then give them back to him. But a little tip: you know how you can look at a character and then activate them and then point at something for them to pick it up?
Yeah.
If they do, and then you take it back off them, it's classed as stealing.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh,
so then it's marked up as red. So I was like, but for some reason, Chill Rend has now been unmarked as stolen. I think it's because I left it with him, and then I dismissed him, and he had it while he was dismissed. And then when I came back, I think it sort of like took the stolen thing off it.
Where do you steal children from again?
That's the Delvin Mallory, or not Delvin Mallory. What's his name? The former head of the Thieves Guild.
Mercer Frey.
Mercer Frey. Thank you. Yeah.
Is that in his house, right? When you have to kill his bodyguard
yeah.
Over there in Riften. Cool.
Well, no, you don't have to kill his bodyguard. You can go swimming.
Yeah.
I've always just killed him.
If you go to Maven Blackbriar, she will tell you that if you go swimming in the lake and find her quill of gemination or something like that,
exactly,
you can give that to her, and then she will release him from his duties, or he's no longer indebted. So then he just gives you the key and leaves.
Oh, I vaguely have a recollection of that. I think I've done that in a past playthrough.
I tried to find that damn thing, and I've never been able to find it.
Is it underwater?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be near a bridge or something, right? She gives you a clue about where the moron sunk his boat. But I couldn't find it. I don't know whether it was bugged out or I'm just an idiot or both, but I couldn't find the damn thing. So
I think I've done it in every single playthrough I've done, and I spend about 20 minutes swimming up and down that canal trying to find it.
Still never find it.
I find it, but it always takes at least. There's no clear marking point of where it is. It's not like you have to swim around for ages trying to find it.
No.
Yeah, they don't put a quest marker on it, which is fine. It's actually good, but it's hard to find.
Thing.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like those quest markers are a little cheating sometimes?
Yeah,
sometimes.
No, definitely. I was doing Arniel Gaines quest. And it was says like go and take this and put it in these convectors.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that the Dwemer convector thing?
Yeah, and there's one out near Shorestone, and I've never discovered it. It was out in the middle of nowhere, and all it is just like an arch, and then there's a convector by it, and that's it. There's nothing else there.
There's like a dwarven helmet sitting on there. And
that's it. That's all that was there.
I found that one. Yeah.
There's no way.
I just happened upon it randomly.
Yeah. But there's no way that, because he doesn't tell you, you all go out and look for him, and the quest marker was pointing straight to it. There's no way I would have known it was there. Nobody would have.
Because the other ones are like in a building or somewhere, where it would make sense. But this one's just kind of out on the west side of the map, just all by itself. There's no distinguishing things around it besides like a little archway.
What were we talking about?
Oh, we're just completing up General Carius from Fort Frostmourne.
I had no idea where we were.
Do you guys like his weapon, the Champion's Cudgel? What have you done with that?
I love that weapon. I mean, it's a beautiful weapon and it's really good, but I prefer, and I think it's a better weapon, is the two-handed one I'm using at the moment is the long hammer. The long hammer, smithed up, and using elemental fury, that's a fighter's weapon. If you want to look all nice and pretty, Champion's Cudgel or a Dragonborn Warhammer is nice looking, but if you're going for a big fight, then you want the long hammer.
Where is the long hammer acquired?
Liar's Retreat.
And what's it made of?
Liar's Retreat is it's out in the Reach, and it's just like a little cave. It comes up as looking like a cave, but it's got a door. Cave with a door. And you go in there, and that's where you see all these Falmer absolutely decimating these bandits. And then you travel all the way through, and as you get to the very the end of it, and kill the Choris and one of the Falmers anyway. You find Rand, who was the barman, I think, and he has the long hammer. It's on the table, but sometimes it's hidden underneath the table or to the side of the table.
What's the difference in I guess what's the best word? Usability? Is it lighter than the cudgel?
Yeah, it's lighter and it moves 30% faster.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
oh, nice.
But it's already enchanted, so you can't re-enchant it with something else.
No, it's not enchanted, but you don't want to enchant it.
Oh.
If you enchant it, you can't use Elemental Fury on it.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, of course.
Can you remind us about Elemental Fury, Colin?
Elemental Fury increases the speed of your weapons. It uses your shout enchants the weapon for you, and so it can't work on the champion's cudgel because it's already enchanted.
Okay, so you can only apply it to unenchanted weapons.
Yeah, but when you've got two Dragonborn daggers smithed up to the balls, and you use Elemental Fury, you just cut through anything like that.
Yeah, it's pretty effective when you get really bogged down and a bunch of people attacking you. It's quite effective. But I always disenchant the cudgel. That's the first thing I do.
No.
Yes.
I knew Colin would not like that idea. But I also disenchanted it. What do you like to apply it to, Victor?
Oh, I've applied it to everything: bows and swords and anything I can get my hands on.
And it is the Chaos enchantment, I believe it's called. Can you remind us what the Chaos enchantment does?
I forget what the percentage is, but there's a good percentage of hitting with any one of the three main, fire, shock, and frost, and a reduction in stamina. I think I can't remember. I'd have to look it up, but it's a very effective enchantment.
Yeah, I enjoy it too. I like smacking someone and see them catch fire, and then smack them again, seeing them get frosty, and then smack them again, and see them turn purple from the electric shock.
Yeah,
I've got mine applied to an ebony warhammer right now. Got it.
There's a million ebony warhammers in there. There's only one cudgel. It's so pretty.
It is. You're right.
You're not incorrect.
But it's a slow weapon. Slythe prefers the sword.
Yeah.
It's faster. So, plus
But you wouldn't waste the long hammer by applying it to the long hammer, then?
No, because then Elemental Fury won't work on it.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea. In fact, that's true.
So the long hammer swings faster anyway, but when you apply the Elemental Fury to it, then you're swinging a dagger as the speed.
It's hilariously funny. I always go into third-person view, and then he just swinging around. He looks like a complete nutter, like he's trying to chop down wood. Brilliant.
Very nice. So speaking of other interesting weapons or tools in the game, we will move on to our next quest, an axe to find, which I incorrectly thought was an axe to grind for some reason when I was writing up the schedule.
Yeah,
but
Victor got all dirty.
Yeah. So I have an axe to find, gentlemen. What's going on with this axe, Victor?
One of the first people that you meet in Raven Rock is what's his name? Yeah, the guy with the, Glover, thank you. Glover Mallory. So he casually mentions that he might have obtained this pickaxe from a place somewhere. And he's clearly some sort of shady deal, but it's gone, and an old man, Crescius Carillius, seems to have either lost it or won't give it back, and Glover asks you to retrieve his ancient Nordic pickaxe from Crescius. So you need to find Crescius. That's the and find the axe.
Colin, do you have any exciting adventures looking for this axe?
When I walked into, he was a miner, this Crescius Carillius, so I went into the mine to try and find him. I thought that would be a good idea.
Nice place to start.
I went into the mine, and he was standing there talking to Dark Elf Lydia. Because it's exactly the same place. Oh, hi Lydia. That's some nice makeup you got on there.
That's true. It is.
You look a little different.
And then you find out that Crucius Corellius wants to go back down into the mine, which is very dangerous for somebody as decrepit as him.
An 80-year-old ex-miner shouldn't be adventuring down there.
Certainly not.
No, let my 60-year-old ass go down there and search around to try and find your dead ancestor, which probably isn't there. I have no idea why Gunvar went down there looking for his old ancestor, but he did.
Yeah, that seems unusually helpful for Gunvar.
Yeah. It's going to be a struggle to find out the reasons why he does anything. I'll work something out.
Did you get Crucius to give you the axe, and did you manage to get it back to Glover?
Well, with every single perk in the speech tree and 100 of the birds, you're damn fucking right about I got it. I just said, give it to me, old man, before I crack you over the skull with it. And he handed it over. Mind you, on my way to Windhelm to board the boat, I got met by a thief. Went to intimidate, nothing.
Really?
Nothing. Didn't intimidate, didn't take nothing. I knew it. I spent all those perks, I spent all that time getting up to 100 in speech and nothing.
That's so funny.
Funny.
I was just about to say, like, isn't it great having your speech at 100? Everyone pays attention to you, and you just can tell people what to do, and they don't give you any back talk. But I guess not. Jeez, you found a thief with a higher speech perk than us.
Yeah, well, I had the I can't remember the name of it. The amulet of articulation. There it is from the Thieves Guild.
That's
I was
articulate.
wearing that. I was wearing that at the time as well. Still nothing.
What? Wow. That's
So
a
you tried to
stubborn thief.
intimidate over instead of persuading that you didn't. The persuade option is, do I look like I have anything valuable or whatever it is? That didn't work either.
I won't try that. He's Gunvar Oaken.
Yeah, I was going to say Gunvar seems more like an intimidator than a persuader.
Yeah.
You're gonna,
Good point taken. Yeah.
and he's the leader of the Thieves Guild, the guild thief master. So he ain't going to persuade. He's not going to talk him into anything. He's just going to that and then gladly kill him.
That's great.
I think if he did intimidate him and the guy was starting to run away, he'd kill him just on sheer principle for stopping him while he was on the road.
How dare you waste my time? So what happens when you get the axe and you take it back to Glover? What proceeded after that?
What do you mean? What Glover says to you?
Yeah. What are the options there?
Well, no, Glover just turns around and goes, "Oh, that was." I just wanted the old man to know that you shouldn't take things off of other people. Oh yeah.
Isn't that nice of him? That jerk sends you in there, goes on an errand, and you run the errand for him, and it turns out he just wanted to backtalk the old man to teach him a lesson. He didn't even actually want the damn axe back.
I mean, he gives it to you because you're going to need it to be able to mine Skyrim.
Yeah.
But the thing is that he is a thief. He's in the Thieves Guild. And he's like,
Yes.
teach that old man not to let you know.
And that is originally why he sends you to do it, because he doesn't want to have to involve the captain's guard, because he himself is a little bit on the dirty side of the law.
Just a little.
Yeah.
And so there's couple different dialogue options you got, but I think there was one where you can get gold instead of the axe. Is that true? But I think you would want to keep the axe, because if you want to Stalrim anywhere, or if you want to get to, they hide lots of stuff behind, secret passages behind Stalrim walls and stuff. So I think you would want to keep the axe. Is there some sort of option there where you don't keep the axe?
I've never taken it.
Yeah, I always end up with the axe, but as I was reading up on this mission, it seemed like there was some option where you got gold instead, and I was like, well, who would do that? That would eliminate... either that would mean that there would have to spawn a different source for the ancient Nordic axe, or...
I suppose if you didn't want any... I'm sorry, go ahead, Colin.
Is there another one, Colin?
Yeah, there is, but I can't remember where I found it. But I just found it somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
there is another one.
I mean, I don't personally, at least on this playthrough, I don't really give a shit about Stalrim. So, and you say there's secret passages behind it. I don't. Where are those? All I remember are just skeletons behind the Stalrim. Is there a spot where you have to
especially
get through?
when you're looking for I think it's the Death Brand armor.
Oh, right. Of course. Yes. I forgot.
There's a hall behind a secret passage where you chip out all the
Is that the one with all the gold in it or something?
Yeah,
like
that's
that?
the one where you can get like 5,000 gold from one
Yeah.
dungeon.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's the only one I can think of off of hand, but there is at least one secret passage that you need the axe to get to.
So I should hang on to the ancient Nordic pickaxe, and I should not have sold that Elder Scroll either, right?
No, I definitely sold that Elder Scroll before the last mission. I was like, oh, fuck, I hope I didn't need that.
Yeah, oops. Oh, well.
But I also thought, oh, well, the game wouldn't let me sell it if I needed to use it again anyway. It's usually pretty good about not letting you get rid of stuff that you need to use in the future.
Oh, well, as long as you can buy it back, I guess the game...
Yeah, that's also something I didn't think of, yeah. It sold it to Orog Grub or whatever his name is up in...
Yeah.
In the college there, the book guy. But yeah, so that's basically wraps up an axe to find. You talk to the blacksmith there in Raven Rock. He tells you to go find the pickaxe from an old miner. So you go over to the mine and you grab the axe and you bring it back and you get to keep the axe. And the special axe will let you, it's the hardest substance that will let you actually chip away at Stalrim. Colin, can you remind us what Stalrim is?
It's enchanted ice. Apparently, if you enchant it with resist frost, it makes resist frost even more stronger because it naturally has resist frost properties. And it's as tough as ebony, and you need the ebony perk to be able to smith it.
Very nice.
I think so.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's ebony. It's pretty sure it's ebony.
Yeah, sounds pretty good. For an axe to find, that's a pretty quick little mission there, and that'll bring us into a more lengthy mission that we started to get into a little bit, called the Final Descent. Colin, do you have a brief recollection? What was the Final Descent about?
The Final Descent is I just went straight into that. I didn't go back with the axe, so I'll carry on going.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So Chris Corelius lets you know that he believes that the East Empire Company is lying to everybody and that the Ebony Mine is still worthwhile because he found something, an old diary of his great-grandfather, and he wants to go down in the mine, but his missus won't let him because she's a good missus. And he asks you to go and do it for no apparent reason whatsoever, because he gives you some serious lip when you walk in and talk to him. But then he turns nice and asks you to go downstairs, and then you do. And you travel through, and then you find, for some reason, a Nordic ruin on Solstheim. You travel through all these Nordic ruins, which every single one of them, apart from one, was a Drugo Death Lord.
Oh yeah, there are like tons of them in there.
In one room in particular, but it's all right. I had to disarm shouts. I had them all lined up. I took 4 of them out in a row.
Wow.
And that was funny because then they just punch you. They don't go and pick it up for some reason.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, then you travel through and then you find that he didn't fall to his death, but he fell down into a cavern which had a special door to the outback of the Nordic ruin that you needed a special weapon to be able to get through. And if you use a power move, it releases a energy bolt that will damage your weapon. But you've got to use. He couldn't do it because he was injured slightly, and every time he tried to do a power move, it aggravated his injury and killed him in the end.
Poor Gratian.
It's a good quest. I've never actually, until this playthrough with Slythe, who is uses two-handed, I hadn't really appreciated the Bloodskull blade. It's quite a powerful weapon.
I've never actually used it out in the field. Have you
Yeah.
taken it around and used it on enemies and stuff?
Oh yeah, totally. I smithed it up a little bit,
Is it an ebony blade, or what do you use to smith it up?
Ebony.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an ebony blade. Yeah, and it continues to spit out that energy bolt, which does actually do some damage.
What was it? Fire damage, or what kind of damage does it do?
I don't know, honestly. I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to that.
And is it something that you have to recharge with a soul gem, or does it always have
No,
an
I don't
infinite
believe
amount
so.
of power?
I think
That's
it's
useful.
It's
That's cool.
permanent. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never actually used it, but it looks nice.
Yeah, it's cool.
And it's a two-handed blade, right? If I remember.
It is. Yeah, even used it to kill a dragon.
Oh wow!
Oh, nice.
It was a low-level dragon, but it was. Yeah, that was after I left. I finished all the stuff and came back to Skyrim for some adventuring and went and killed a dragon.
Oh, very nice.
I was lucky enough that I ran into a dragon on Soulstone before I finished off Dragonborn. So
Oh, wow.
Mirek didn't get the soul from him, and that was
Haha!
an ancient dragon. So
I was going to ask, was it what kind of dragon? Ancient dragon. Have you seen a serpentine dragon yet?
no, he's on the mountain, isn't he?
Yeah.
They
I haven't
do
seen
spawn-
one yet either. I didn't know what caused those guys to start flying around.
I think there's one on I think he's up on one of the mountains. He's up there, and he's fighting all the Drogo up there on one of the mountains where you get one of the words, I think.
Huh.
Oh, is that a serpentine dragon? That's near the. It's not that far from Karstag's
That's
fortress
it, yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the way those serpentine dragons look. Kind of look like what were they called? The Nazgul or whatever from the
Yes, actually, you're
Lord
right.
of the
They
Rings
do.
a little bit. They don't have any fins or ears or any scales around the head, so they have like a nice sleek looking neck. and
Yeah,
everything.
kind of creepy looking.
So after we find Gratian's remains, we grab a key of some sort and his blade, and we unlock the door. We go through the door puzzle there. And what's on the other side of that door, gentlemen?
Well,
Whole mess of traps.
Whole mess of traps, yeah. There's a curved hallway, and I think 3 or 4 swinging acts per segment of the hallway.
Yeah.
And I booked down there, taking my time to time everything out and get past everything. But my stupid follower just got whacked at every juncture. It took him so long to catch up with me once I got to the end.
can you
Well,
shut
once you
them
get-
off at the end?
Yeah, I believe. I don't know if you can. I don't know why I would have waited for him otherwise. Is there another door at the end of that hallway?
There is another door, but there's also a chain, so you can turn the traps off.
Yeah.
I didn't pay any attention because I was going through alone. So
Yeah. So I should have probably just turned that off. Probably just took too much enjoyment out of seeing him take a knee every 4 steps. But once you get past the axes, there's one final chamber at the end where you find a very nice gentleman by the name of Zakrisos.
Yes.
Zakrisos whooped my ass, gentlemen.
Really?
He was very tough, I thought.
Huh.
You guys have a fun time with Mr. Zakrisos, the dragon priest?
Gonvar was laughing his ass off at him because he had the necklace of grounding on, but he also has the 100 perkin alteration as well, which allows you to absorb 30 points from attacking spells.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
That would be very useful here.
So I just continuously was blasting him with fireballs because he's undead. And then when I run out of magicka, he would hit me with the master shock spell. You know, that one that blasts right through the center. And that would charge up all my magicka.
That's very nice.
And then
You mentioned the necklace of grounding. Can you remind us about that?
That's 70% resistant to shock spells.
Oh, very nice.
I bought that in Radiant Raymond as well.
That's the place to be. I need to go check out the shop. So it sounded like you planned well. You planned well, knowing that Zakrisos would be using lots of shock magic against you. On the other hand, go ahead.
Carry them all.
At all times.
Necklace. Yeah, I've got a necklace of magic abate. No, I've got a necklace of nullification, which is the 22% resistant to magic. That one was like nearly 2,000 settles.
Wow.
And I've got a ring of magic abatement, which is 20%. I haven't been able. I can't find any. I need peerless destruction, and all I can find is one ring of eminent destruction. That's it. I can't find any necklaces or armor of peerless destruction.
Is that something that just appears after you level up to a certain extent?
Well, I'm level 76, so I better show up.
So you should have peerless and everything. Yeah. Oh, you're much higher level than me. You've been increasing all your levels. See, I have only been concentrating in those 3 damn schools and the skill schools that we have. So I'm still hanging back behind. I see my character. I forget what is a level, still just a 47. I still haven't gotten above 50 even yet.
I'm not too far past you. I'm only at 53. So.
Well, in order to level up well, you have to actually have a well-diversified background in all these different schools. That's how you get leveled up to the higher levels. But if you just keep concentrating in the same 3 things like I have been doing, then you don't level up as much. I need to start branching out with this character, it looks like. Get off the 2-handed, start doing some 1-handed and maybe some light armor and stuff like that.
No, I've been... I mean, I don't have a family and I don't have a missus. And I've been off for this week as well, so I can spend hours and hours just like messing around playing games. I don't have any responsibilities, so that's how I've been able to level up.
I thought for a second there, I thought you were talking about in game. I was like, yes, you do have a spouse. You do have 2 kids, Colin. What do you? It's your poor family out at Lakeview Manor. Yes, but I definitely need to diversify my portfolio a little bit. Get out there and start leveling up in other schools to just level up my character overall.
Yeah, I should too.
But it took me a couple tries with Zakrisos. He is a very well concentrated in the shock school. He's got, I think, master level shock spells, and his mask, I forget exactly what the perks are, but I believe it's probably a resistance to shock, I would bet.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
50% resistance to shock.
That's a large percent.
And you got 25% extra damage with your shock spells.
Oh, wow. 25% extra damage. That's nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty good mask.
But behind Zakrisos, after you finally dispatch with him, there is a word wall also in this chamber. And it is the Dragon Aspect shout. What do you guys recall what Dragon Aspect does for you?
Yeah, lets you call upon the aspect of the dragon once a day, and it adds buffs to your armor, adds buffs to your attacks, and it buffs your shouts as well.
And it only is allowed once a day, which I thought was interesting. So that makes it more like one of your powers instead of a shout.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
And I was reading up on it a little bit, and I thought it was interesting that once you have 2 words of Dragon Aspect, once your health dips below 50%, it lets you summon an ancient Dragonborn to come to your side to help fight for you.
He comes automatically, yeah.
Yeah, just you don't have to do anything. Just when your health drops below 50%, he'll pop out and
once a day or always.
But you can only call the power or the shout once a day.
Yeah, so it only happens when you have the shout engaged.
No, you said it happened automatically, so I would.
Yeah. Automatically when the shout is. Meaning you don't have to hit an extra button to have him pop up. He just pops up after you've done the shout, and your health dips below 50%. I've never actually done that, so that's something I will try to look into while we're running around on Solstheim, see if I can get an ancient Dragonborn to pop out and come to my side. There was also yet another little fun thing to do when you're down here in this chamber. Actually, it's a little side shoot off to this chamber. And this is the last part of our questing for this episode. Gentlemen, did you find the Winds of Change Black Book?
Indeed.
Yeah.
What happens here when you pick open this book, Victor?
Well, it's the first of the, at least in this playthrough, the first of the black books that you find, and they are essentially gateways to Apocrypha, which is the domain of Hermaeus Mora, who is he is the Lord of Knowledge, I guess. So you read the book, and it transports you to Apocrypha, and you are required to make your way through some puzzles and past a few. What are those seekers? They're called. No,
yeah,
seekers, and then what's the other one? The lurker.
Yeah, the lurker's the big guy.
So, so there's 2 or 3 seekers and one lurker to make it through, and you get to the end, and you are allowed to read the book, The Winds of Change, and it provides you with 3 options. And I can only remember the one I chose, which is the one that involves the opposite sex. The other 2 didn't really seem like they were worth much, and I'm desperately clicking through.
No, you're fine.
Trying to find it.
You're describing the Lover's Insight.
Yeah, that's
which you give 10% more damage to the opposite sex when you're attacking them, or you get 10% better prices when you're buying or bartering with them.
That's right, yeah. Okay.
So that was the one you chose. That's interesting.
Yeah, instead it was the other 2 are Companion's Insight and Scholar's Insight. The Scholar's Insight, reading the skill books, they're so somewhat random, and besides, I'm way up in levels now. At this point, it didn't really seem like it was worth. Although these are you can change your selection at any time by reading the book and going back to that section of Apocrypha. So I suppose if you knew you were about to read a skill book, you could go back and do that.
You can take the black book with you, and before you open a skill book each time, you can open up that book and switch it over to the Scholar's Insight.
I don't think you can get rid of them, can you? Once they're in your inventory, can you actually put them on a bookshelf somewhere? Or
I don't know. They have a value of 2,000, so I wouldn't mind selling the bastards.
I've never been able to get rid of them.
Yeah. So once you get it into your inventory, it looks like it's there for good. But that's good to know. That's kind of a good philosophy. If you know that you're about to read a skill book, which is usually indicated by... It doesn't?
It only works on Solstheim.
Oh, only on Solstheim.
Oh, really? You can't read the black books when you're in Skyrim? I've never tried, so
it comes up of like, you feel a rumble or something like that. Because I used to get a rumble through the controller, and you sense something is wrong or something like that. I think.
Interesting. So I'm still having trouble with my restoration, getting that up to 100. I'm still only a level 56 for my restoration, which was one of my 3 attributes that I was assigned to get to 100. So I was thinking, maybe I'll just open up the black book and activate the Scholar's Insight every time before going out and looking for all the restoration skill books, but that's no good. Can you activate the Scholar's Insight on Solstheim and then go out and find all the skill books in Skyrim?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a permanent effect, yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I took the Companions one. The one where
I also did. What happens with the Companions Insight?
You don't do any damage to your companion with your shout, with your attacks, your spells, anything. You don't do any damage to him.
Yes, and I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact that we both like to use warhammers and up-close melee attacks.
Yeah, well, also seen as, what's his name? Aethys has killed me twice. It's because I've been blasting people with fireballs, and then halfway through it, it comes up, your follower has left your service, and then he attacks me and kills me.
Oh, no. Yeah, damage your follower one too many times. They turn on you.
Yeah, I think it's I don't think your house calls do it, but I do know Aethys does it.
Yeah. Well, I have definitely accidentally killed a couple followers already. On my third follower, Ogle, he is an orc. And so I kind of like Ogle, so I wanted to keep him around for a little while longer. So I went ahead and I also activated the Companion's Insight, which again lets you do no damage to your followers. And I haven't picked up a new Frost Troll in a while because they keep dropping like flies. I had at least 15 of them already. So now that I have the Companion's Insight activated, I'm thinking I might go pick up another troll to see, make sure that I don't kill him again and again and again.
Yeah, I lost 3. They aren't very powerful. Right?
They're not. I imagine that troll. Granted, when you go up against a troll, at least early in the game, those guys are so tough. I would avoid them early on in playthroughs just because they are extremely tough. But it seems like when they follow you around, they're just kind of weenies a little bit.
Yeah.
But
well, I guess it says something about my personality that I didn't give a damn about my followers.
Well, you didn't even bring one with you to Souls Time. You're just
that's true. Yeah.
You're a loner out on the road.
Yeah, I was up against a Vindicator, a lurker Vindicator, but what's his name? Hermaeus Mora. He could give Gonvar lessons on arrogance.
That's true.
You get there, he was like, "See, I told you you'd be back." It just gives you all this crap, and it was like,
yeah. Can you guys describe the Apocrypha a little bit? We didn't say what it was really. We said that it's the world of Hermaeus Mora. It's kind of a different plane. What kind of a feeling do you guys get from this area?
Well, I mean, it's the plane of oblivion where essentially all knowledge is stored, isn't it? It's like I think it's actually of the other world places that you go in Skyrim, including the Soul Cairn. I think Apocrypha is the coolest of them all. I don't like the Soul Cairn a whole lot, but Apocrypha is a very cool place.
Yeah, I really like it. It definitely, everything has a sort of a dark green, brownish hue to it. And like it looks like the walls are constructed out of piles of old books that have been sitting there for thousands of years. You turn a corner and there's it looks like a little tornado spinning around, but then you realize it's pages of a book. So this is obviously the plane of knowledge of Hermaeus Mora. And so everything is, of course, brought back to books because in this world, knowledge is gained through books, and books do all the teaching in Skyrim. So everything is based around books and all the archways and these scries. Is that how you pronounce that word? It's like
I believe so. Yeah.
3 little like prongs going up with a little tiny pearl of light, and you touch the pearl and it drops down, and then the fingers close on it, and then that'll open up a door that'll let you into the next area. And then there's the black pools that are sitting around every time that you go around a corner. There's like a black pool, and then the first time I went to Apocrypha, I was like, oh wow, that's a cute little black pool. What's happening in there? Black tentacle that'll whips you in the ass a few times.
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah, it's a very interesting world, and there's all sorts of curled up bridges and stuff, and you touch one of these scries and a bridge will curl out and a platform will move, and it's just a very interesting world. Well, how do you feel about it, Colin? What do you like about the Apocrypha?
I don't.
I dislike it.
I hate Apocrypha as a character. I mean, obviously, looking back at it from here, they went to town on that. That is amazing of what I could do it, but trying to get through it, trying to navigate Apocrypha is horrible.
Yes.
You have to run, and then you've got certain areas where they have the light, where if you're not in the light, then it damages you.
Yeah, there's like black smoke in some of the places that'll suck your life out.
You fall into that. You get poison damage from that if you go into that lake area type thing, you get poison damage from it or something like that. And then you got the Seekers.
The Seekers are cool.
They shoot magic at you that does no harm to you whatsoever. So you pop out from behind your stack of books to hit him, and then they shoot you with a different spell, and that takes like 3/4 of your health.
Yeah, they got two different kinds that are awesome. I kind of think they look
you got to
like...
figure out which one to kill, too.
Yeah.
How would you describe their physical appearance? Because I think they're really neat if you like take maybe like a horseshoe crab and stand it up on end and put some like Yoda cloaks on it or something. It's really weird looking monsters, but I think they're really neat looking.
Yeah, kind of, I don't know, Cthulhu-esque. I don't know.
And you ran into a leveled lurker, you said, Colin? What lurker did you run into?
A Vindicator.
Vindicator. Yeah, I like the lurkers. They're more of a humanoid form, but it looks like they kind of have a maybe a piranha face, sort of something like that. But they can like vomit black tentacles at you, and all sorts of crazy stuff. I really like the Apocrypha. It's really neat.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, gentlemen, is there anything else you'd like to mention about our adventures, the 4 adventures we went through today?
No, I think we covered.
We played
quite
Dragonborn,
extensively.
March of the Dead, An Axe to Find, and The Final Descent. And within The Final Descent, we found the Black Book Winds of Change, and played through that as well.
Oh, and when we finished, was it doing? Oh, is it The Final Descent? Got like £20,000 or 20,000 septums for that. I can't believe that.
Did we really? Where did we find that?
You got it as reward for when you got back to... Oh, no. Sorry, you get that from doing Fort Frostmouth. Sorry. Once you kill him, then you go back and, what's his name, Velos gives you like 20,000 septums.
Wow.
Well, I don't know if I've visited Vela since I've done that. Maybe, you know, that's what you need to do right before going to Raulos or whatever that dude's name is, before you have to do
Good point.
invest with him 15 times or whatever.
Yeah, and then he gives you... some more money for something else. I think it was finding, the Sujama or whatever it is in the barrel.
Oh, yeah. That
right.
alcohol? What is Sujama? Isn't it kind of a brew of wine or beer or something?
Yeah, it's Ember Brand, I think he called it.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, is that... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, is that one of the quests we're going to do, or is that a side quest that we can do at any time? Because I've already picked that up.
Yeah, it was it was in the miscellaneous, so I didn't think it was going to be in the main quest line.
Okay, yeah, I didn't look through the schedule all the way to the end. So,
what was the quest given called? What was it entitled?
Well, the owner of the Ratching Netch gives you a quest to sell his Sujama around the island, to people, so that they'll all realize what wonderful Sujama it is and want to buy more.
No, I'm talking about the one that Velos gives you. He says that his guys are drinking this stuff called Ember Brand, and it's...
and you have to go find it and destroy the source or whatever?
Yeah, they've hidden it somewhere. And he tells you, they're too smart to hide it on the bulwark, which gives you a really big clue about where it is. And once you find it... And he just gives you this quest in that his guards have been drinking this stuff and have been falling asleep on the job. So if you can find it, it'd be a great help. And then he gives you like he gives you like 2,000 or something like that septums just for finding some bottles in a barrel.
Wow.
Nice. Well, I'll have to go back and see if I
does that have a name, Colin, or is that just a miscellaneous quest?
It is a miscellaneous quest, yeah. Mickey.
Okay, yeah, so you can feel free to do that one. And Victor, the one you were talking about, does that have a name, or is that also a miscellaneous quest?
It must be a miscellaneous. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think it's just sell the Sujama for. Again, I can't remember the owner's name, but.
Well, the only ones I included in the schedule were all named quests, so they're either for the Mirok or there can be side quests as well, but they're only named quests. So all the miscellaneous ones that just say, "Oh, go find this or that." Feel free to go ahead and fill in all the miscellaneous stuff.
Oh, I see. Well, now here's the thing. I'm just looking at UESP and the locate a hidden stash of Emberbrand is a named quest.
Well, what is it called?
It's called Recipe for Distraction. And also, so is the Sadri Sujama. It's all in the taste. Is that one? So maybe these aren't.
No, they're miscellaneous.
I'm looking at the schedule and I don't see those.
Okay, so they are classified as miscellaneous. Okay.
I think you're fine with those.
Okay.
I'm just excited to get to the summoning Karstag. I mean, that's not for a few more episodes yet, but I'd never actually fought him my first playthrough on Solstheim.
I've tried to kill him many times and always failed.
So, just a fair warning, Unearthed, which is the quest where you have to invest in the mine and then come back and invest again and come back, and it takes a lot of time, that is all lumped into the last episode. So if you want to start that one and just not do the final step of it into the last episode, feel free, because you do have to wait a certain amount of days, maybe weeks in between investments.
Yeah, that's why I already started it.
Yeah, that's fine to go ahead and do like a step of that per episode or whatever if you want. Just leave the last step of it, I guess.
Yeah, I already started it too.
Yeah, that's fine.
I love how he starts scaring the courier. The courier turns up. I ain't going to do this no more.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So, looking at the schedule, we've got another 5 episodes on Solstheim to go. So, this looks like it should be okay so far. The quests, I don't know. We'll see what we get. Hopefully, the flow of the game, like Colin said, he kind of started over once just because the flow didn't seem quite right. I'm sure you'll run into that again, just by the way I've organized everything here, but.
No, it's fine. It's just, when I got there, I wanted to carry on, and then I was like, oh, no, wait. Then I had to go back. It was just a little sort of thing with the way my story flows. If it doesn't flow right, then I have to go back and do it again. Even if I've done something and it's completely perfect and I didn't die, I was like, oh, well, I didn't like the way that book fell on the floor, so I'm going to go back and redo the entire book.
Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, just take a look ahead, and, if something seems weird like that, then, just put that the last thing you do, or however you want to organize it so that it feels right for your character. That's cool. And anything else, gentlemen, before I launch into the closing material? Again, it was a pleasure to podcast with you. I always enjoy our times here on these Saturday afternoon or Saturday late night there for Colin.
Absolutely.
Again, Colin, thank you for staying up and joining us. I know that over in the UK, you're a good deal later than us. And we appreciate you staying up and podcasting with us.
It's always staying up and playing another 6 hours of Skyrim more than likely.
Hey, that's great. Yeah.
I got tomorrow off, so I'm looking forward to a nice marathon myself.
Yeah, that's great. Well, enjoy yourselves, gentlemen, and I'll just give you a reminder here that on Saturday, October 18th at 5 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we will be doing our next batch of 4 quests. They will be number 5, Served Cold, number 6, Hroldolf's House, that is HRODULF''S, Hroldolf's House. And then number 7, we mentioned this one earlier in the episode, Chief of Thirsk Hall, or Retaking Thirsk, depending on which way you play that particular adventure will determine which quest of the 2 that you're playing. And number 8 will be the continuation of the Mirok quest. It's entitled The Temple of Mirok. And within the Temple of Mirok, you will find the Black Book Waking Dreams, so you'll also need to play the Waking Dreams quest. Again, that's Served Cold, Hroldolf's House, Chief of Thirsk Hall, or Retaking Thirsk, and Temple of Mirok within Waking Dreams. So that'll be our next quest on Saturday, October 18th at 5 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Could you both please just give us your name, your character's name, and do any plugs or anything that you would like to tell us about, gentlemen?
I am Victor. My character's name is Slythe Aaron. I have no plugs. Just listen to the next episode.
Hi, my name's Colin. My character's name is Gunvar Oakenmaster, and me neither.
Oh, well, I again thank you both very much for coming. You both also get the Perfect Attendance Award because you're the only two who continuously show up, and I appreciate that. I've heard next episode that Brian will be joining us again, and I look forward to that. Brian adds a lot of good energy and humor to the show. Absolutely. And hopefully we can get Juan to come back, and maybe Kathleen will poke her head in again. So hopefully we can get a few more folks back here on the show with us. Or maybe our new participant, Brady Speed, I believe his name was. Brady, if you'd like to jump in and join us, we always welcome newbies to the podcast. It'd be great to hear your voice and get your viewpoint on what's going on in Souls Time. If you please follow a Skyrim Addict, that is at a Skyrim Addict on Twitter, we'd greatly appreciate it. And please join the Facebook group. There's always plenty of lively, good Skyrim discussion happening over there on the Facebook group. And please, if you do, upload a picture of your new character with the hashtag Skyrim Roundtable to tell us about where you're coming from. And please give Skyrim Addict 5-star review on iTunes. We always greatly appreciate it. Send any play-along feedback to skyrimroundtable@gmail.com so Blake, our editor, can tack it on to the end of the show. And we'd like to give thanks to Mr. Dan Bull for our theme music. He's the one who wrote the Skyrim rap theme song that we like to tack on to the beginning and end of each show. So thanks again, Dan. We greatly appreciate it. Please stay tuned for some audio feedback, a continuation of Colin's narrative story. We've always been enjoying that, the last bunch of episodes. Colin, please keep up the good work. We greatly appreciate that.
Hear, hear.
Yes, that's really good stuff. You've been listening to the Dragonborn episode here, and we're doing a skirmish for Souls Time and the second season of the Skyrim Addict podcast roundtable. I'd like to greatly thank everyone for listening to our podcast. We greatly appreciate all the effort you give and feedback, and we just love having listeners who will tune in and give us a word on the online every now and again, however you see fit, through Twitter or Facebook. We greatly appreciate it, and thanks everyone for listening. And happy Skyrimming.
I'm a celebrity, honestly. You're a wannabe. I'm a prodigy. The suggestion you're better than me at being a warrior? Ha! Comedy. It's a gift to me. I don't just spit flames lyrically, but literally. And the Elder Scrolls are scripts in which I've written your obituary. I am the Dragonborn, wearing a hat with badass horns. I'm over keen, no globally, you'll know the D.O.
Yeah, it especially makes you think a lot of your character's background and what they would say specifically, instead of, just reacting to stuff on a whim, like be like, oh, maybe I'll say this time. No, you actually think, oh, what would Gunvar do in this scenario? And always just stick to his, his bossy, throw stuff back in your face type attitude.
Yeah, that's what? There was one place where I was running from the top end of Skyrim all the way back to the other one. And he was running so fast that there was no way Aethys could keep up with him. He was just trying to get back as quickly as possible. And as he was running along, that farmer, that dark elf farmer that walked by and goes, I'm on my way to Solitude to sign up for the Imperial Army. Well, I just kept on running, but I was like, wait, no. And I turned around and went back and killed him.
Yeah. A dark elf saying Ulfric has the right of it? No. Sorry.
Wait a second.
Metal Shark Studio.
Welcome to a world of edge computing on the fastest, most secure platform for next-gen applications and data. The Lumen Edge Computing Platform combines network, edge cloud, security, and collaboration. Lumen, the platform for amazing things. Visit lumen.com.